The point is that Madame Joly and all the members of the cabinet, particularly the most experienced members of the cabinet, have many talents and very much experience and can play many roles. The relations with the Americans, and of course including the relations with the Americans, where she has played a very important role. The person who has the relationship you asked specifically about the White House, of course, is the Prime Minister with the President, and I'm the Prime Minister, so I play that role. But I want to emphasize one other thing I said in French, which you heard, which is this is a government that, of course, we have to address and come to a new arrangement with the Americans. Il faut régler cette situation. But our primary focus is on the economy, and our primary focus is on the Canadian economy. And we are at the start of an industrial transformation, a transformation of this economy. And Madame Joly, as Minister of Industry, is going to help lead that in concert with the other members of the Cabinet and myself.
Question suivante, follow-up.
Who will be your key members of your team that help you lead that Canada-U.S. relations file?
I obviously in my role, I take ultimate responsibility for it. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs will play a role. The Minister of Finance, the Minister, Monsieur Leblanc, in his role specifically designated with respect to Canada-U.S. trade, as will the Minister of Defense and the Minister of Public Safety, because there are aspects, and I will say, without going into great detail, that it was a week ago, I guess, when I met with a number of us met with President Trump and his team, and in the broader discussions outside of the Oval Office in the Roosevelt Room, we touched on all those issues: public safety, defense, as well as all aspects of economics and trade. And so it is a real team effort, and I'm remiss in that I hadn't mentioned, and I will now, obviously our ambassador in Washington, who plays a very important role, Ms. Hill.
Kate.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Kate McKenna, CBC News. Can you elaborate on why you chose this cabinet in the context of U.S.-Canada relations? What kind of considerations did you take for positions like foreign affairs and public safety? Well,
I think the first thing is that what guided all of the decisions is several factors. One, the best possible people in the roles. We want a cabinet that reflects Canada in all its diversity and grandeur and experience. I don't want a cabinet that just looks like me. That's not a cabinet that supports. That's not a cabinet that you can delegate authorities to. So that's what we're doing. So that's the first. That you bring the cabinet together like that. The second thing is with respect to Canada-U.S. and all aspects, if you will, of the economic and international relations, looking for a combination of experience in the files and bringing new people into the cabinet. I mean, we Canadians elected us with a mandate for change. So there is a great deal of change in this cabinet by necessity. That's what Canadians voted for, and new ideas mixed with the experience that we have. So with respect to the U.S., look, we have to be. I'll concentrate my answer on the security and defense side. We are developing. We have a series of choices, both the U.S. and Canada, to make about how we can better manage our border. We think we've made tremendous progress on it. In fact, we have made tremendous progress. But where do we go over the next decade? And then what degree of interoperability do we have in our military in a world that's more dangerous and divided? And so we have big decisions to make there. And you see in both the Minister of Public Safety and the Minister of Defense deep experience in the government, and I think that's appropriate.
How do you balance the need to bring in new voices while maintaining experienced members of your team?
Well, I sort of drifted into, I anticipated your question, I guess, but I drifted in the answer. You need to balance it. I think that it is a very good question because you should balance it. Part of this is, again, Canadians voted for change, and part of it is bringing in those new perspectives. And you know, we have half of the cabinet are new members to cabinet. 9 of the 10 secretaries of state are new. I mean, new broadly to a governing role. So there is a tremendous amount of change. But that it also means that half of the cabinet has experience. Perhaps they're in different roles, but they're going to be around the table. And what is crucial, last point, in my view and experience, is how you govern, how you run cabinet meetings, how you run committee meetings, how you delegate authority through the mandates to ministers, so you get the maximum out of that experience and those fresh perspectives. And we intend to have a true cabinet government.
We'll have to.
We need to balance experience and new perspectives. Canadians voted for big change, not small change. They voted for big change. We're blessed with the trust of many Canadians. We have a big intake of new deputies, lots of different experiences that they're bringing, and so bringing a balance, which is what we have of experience, perhaps in some cases in new roles, but experience as cabinet ministers, and new voices, new perspectives, half and half. For me, it's perfect.